We will now continue exploring the darker side of the digital world with our next topic, Dark Web, the hidden mirror of our digital vulnerabilities. We now invite the panelists of this session, Amine Bajeddi and Shahmeer Amir. The roundtable will be moderated by Faisal Esselifi. Thank you.
Awesome.
Assalamu alaikum. Bonjour. Morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm honored and delighted to have these two friends that we will discuss our session about the dark web, the hidden mirror of our digital vulnerabilities. I will just give a quick introduction of that, because every time that we say dark web, a lot of people just imagine the Hollywood style, like green code with like Matrix 1, or some super high hackers hiding behind some underwear of bankers, etc., which is not the case, because normally today the dark web that we want to discuss about is in different angle. We want to try to analyze it, demystify it in different angle. Imagine that the dark web is not the separate universe, but mainly a hidden mirror, because we're hiding behind some technicality, and which is mainly the consequence of our weakness. It's not created like that. There are some weakness, like for example that we don't have a good password policy, simple one, and by the end it's ended in the dark web. We don't we let our default password like routers, firewalls, and this it end in the dark web, which means that it's not starting from the dark web, it's ending into the dark web. And this is what I want to put as a north start of our discussion. And the idea is where it starts. We try to demystify first, and thanks for you that we will have a small demo session just to look out. And after that, we will try to change the angle to see the dark web as opportunity. How we can use it not as fear, but more as opportunity. When we look on it, we can react more faster than waiting for having an incident or major incident. This is the idea about. For that, thanks to Shahmeer Amir, who is the CEO of Speaker, is PQR or Speaker, both of them? Whatever, okay, perfect. Also, in some point of time, I think it's still the same, which is the third ranked hacker worldwide in multiple platforms, my hacker one and others. And also, congratulations for your PhD that you have just successfully granted on. And I will short your introduction like that, because otherwise I can spend all the time just introduce you. Thank you to be here with us. Also, my dear friend Amine Bajeddi, our friend, Moroccan dear friend, who is co-founder and CEO of Defendis, very expert in threat intelligence, mainly, but not only. And I will try to start my question with the simple, but in the same time uncomfortable question, which is, we just mentioned shadow, now we go deep, we go dark. There are a lot of words. I think, Shahmeer, if you can just light us on that. What is the difference between when we say is dark web, when we say is deep web, there are Tor, marketplace, the famous wall of the shame. What is this words is combined, or is perhaps levels, just to understand what is it exactly?
So the internet is primarily divided into 3 layers. Number 1 is the surface web, which constitutes about 15 to 20% of what we use on a daily basis. And then there is the dark web, which constitutes somewhere around 50%, which is inaccessible to the normal users in perpetuity, but it is not it is not inaccessible in a way that it is very hard to access. Then there is the deep web, which is sophisticatedly only accessible to a specific set of users. They are hackers, criminals, traffickers, smugglers. Consider it like the Silk Road of the internet, where these sorts of notorious activities actually happen. So these are the three layers. The primary difference between the dark web and the deep web is that a normal user like you and me, we can access the dark web very easily using Tor, but the deep web accessibility is only allowed using specific quantum encrypted VPN tunnels that are only accessible to a specific set of users that are invited, and it is a very closed loop of the internet.
Like private club.
Yes, exactly. A very, very private club, and a very, very expensive private club.
Okay. And if the dark web is the mirror, and I go to Amine on that, if the dark web is a mirror, what does it say about us? If we analyze it and just keeping the dark web itself, as I mentioned before, something is not starting the dark web, mainly it starts in the normal web, but it's landing there because we have some weakness.
Yeah.
But what they say about us there?
Yeah. But the dark web gives you what you're looking for. So it doesn't matter what, it depends on what you're looking for. So if you go there looking for passwords, you're going to find passwords. If you go there looking for databases, you're going to find databases. You go looking for something that's unrelated to cybersecurity, you're going to find that as well. So like in the dark web, in the context of cybersecurity, you can find credentials, you can find databases, as I said, you can find RDP access, you can find many things that can allow attackers or can allow a group of people to gain access that they shouldn't have.
If we see that on the angle of the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, what you wish that every CISO know about the dark web? What is the value that you need to communicate to this Chief Information Security Officer about the dark web? To don't be fair and just put it behind. What you wish that every Chief Information Security Officer know or understand about the dark web?
You're laughing, so I think you have something in mind. Go for it.
They should at least know how to access it. Most of the CISOs don't even know how to access the dark web.
In this level of information?
Yes, in this level, they don't. Some people, I mean, if statistically speaking, does anyone here know the most traded commodity on the dark web is? The most traded commodity, like the most traded substance. Does anyone know?
Always send the question to the audience. Drugs? Someone mentioned drugs.
That is in the top 3.
Okay. We are in the top 3, but not the top 1.
No, that is number 3 actually.
Or the illegal things, I think, is the
no, and you will be surprised to know that.
Passwords?
No, human intestines. You know why is that? Because you can create medicines, you can create specifically crafted hallucinogens from it. This can be trafficked without being detected in airport scanners. It is more equally or more expensive than trading guns. The problem is that this kind of threat intelligence actually, incites and invites us to look outside of the box. I was also surprised when I came to know about it, because the fact of the matter is, why would someone even go through such gross lengths? But the thing is that. And this fact I brought up because of your question about the CISO. The CISO is only concerned about policies, about the security of the organization, parameter security and stuff like that. This fact is not even known to the public. What if one of your servers in your organization is being used as a proxy server to relay stellar blockchain transactions for illegal purposes? So,
It's not the product when we have a problem here, it's the way to sell or to buy the product when you can also be part of.
It's more about the
It's a risk.
posture. It's more about the posture. A lot of people are adopting like a posture. They're defensive. They're waiting for something to happen instead of being proactive and going for the lookout and doing the research and doing the investigation and seeing how data is traded, how attacks are being built, how hackers in their communities they mount attacks and they do things instead of just reacting to whatever is going to happen.
This is give me a question. I don't have it in my list, but this is give me a question here. Is we mainly see the dark web and all the reality that we have is that our data is taken from our servers, whatever, and put in the dark web. Is landing there. But the good point that you mentioned here is not only this vision that we can have in the dark web, because we can also be used as a proxy or as just powering, just CPU and RAM that you can have. If you hack your server, I can use it as a power for either, and then we jump in another topics, either the AI, because we know that all people know ChatGPT, sure, but I don't know if you know like Warm GPT, for example. We have something that is called Warm GPT, which is the evil side of the ChatGPT, which is one that is in the dark, or the dark BART or whatever model we have. We can also, and the question will be how we protect us in this level, how we can protect corporate or government servers to not be used as a power for such kind of, because we need power by the end of the day. We use warm GPT or dark BART or whatever model we have. We need the power. How we can secure enough to not be used on the dark web as a proxy or as power? Shahmeer?
yeah, it's a very complicated question, and there are multiple aspects to it. As users, whoever's surfing the internet, A, they should be aware. B, they should be reluctant on being less aware of what they're doing, what their activity is. And C, they should at least have, in today's world, some basic knowledge of security. Do not click on suspicious links, and do not forward. Always see what the email addresses of where it's coming from. And the surprising factor is the number one cause of stolen passwords and credentials on the dark web is because of phishing attacks, and and the basic level of phishing, starting from generating a fake email address to sending someone a document that is morphed or that is backdoored. It just starts from there, and this is how organizations get hacked. Just like yesterday, we were sitting and we were looking at a demo that there are multiple passwords available for each and every organization on the planet, which means that someone or some IT personnel or individual has at some point in time clicked on a link or revealed their password to someone else on the internet, which has caused a chain reaction effect for all of those passwords to be compromised. So, do you want to do a demonstration?
Yeah, we can do a demonstration.
This one is one of the three vectors that we can have, and I know that's one of the top three of the three vector that we can have in any hack, escalation that we have is the phishing, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I remember that every time that we discuss with a lot of companies, top one of any yearly program is the anti-phishing awareness. But it's the only one, or it's the top one? We don't have other simpler trade vectors?
there are multiple ones. This one links back to the other question why it's really necessary to be proactive, because companies or CISOs, they're spending a lot of money in investing in infrastructure and in all these kinds of tools, but like the human vector, the human risk remains the biggest one, as Shahmeer said, and they're not spending much attention on that than on the other things. But as he said, like it could lead to one employee making a mistake, or even like the other part of which is a customer or a vendor partner making a mistake, and that exposes you. So like another vector could be vendor management. You have a list of partners that you're working with. They have access to your system. They have access to your data. They have access to customer personal data, etc. So one of your vendors gets hacked. That links back to you. That links back to your data through their access. So it could expose you. Another thing I can think of is, again, through access, through a leaked credential, you can gain access to a platform, and that platform can have the most basic vulnerability, an idle vulnerability, and you can exploit that, and you can find yourself holding 2 million the data of 2 million people, and these are real cases. So like through a simple password, you find yourself in a platform that has a basic vulnerability, and that basic vulnerability exposes millions of people and their personal data and whatever is in that platform.
And if we give you 5 minutes to demonstrate if it's so complicated way, because here we discuss about dark web. If we did top chrono 5 minutes, I give you, and we can say
we were laughing yesterday about like if we should do a demo or not, and we were discussing it, and we will be doing a demo with, I think it's right now it's Africa Cup of Nations, so it's football, and everyone would want to watch TV and watch games.
Yes.
So
just for funny things is, yesterday we prepared our discussion, and one of the topics that is take huge amount of time, it was if we want to do the demo, which company or which example we will take, and yeah, it was complicated.
Yeah, it's not that complicated.
It's more complicated than doing the demo itself.
It was actually at the end it was easy to land on that company. So just like a short few minutes demo, like you're in the dark web, you find credentials, we centralize the credentials in our app. We have an app for that. If you can just allow me to share my screen, I'll show you how it goes.
And just short introduction time that
c'est branché.
screen warnings. Here we will see only the front end, the end user consumer.
C'est branché.
We will not do how it's done in the behind the scenes. By the end of the day, this demo is that we have application that automatically take a lot of information from the dark web with some public information, etc. And from that, we correlate and aggregate all this data to have beautiful user interface with simple process. But yeah, it's huge amount of expertise behind the scene. It will just take 2-3 minutes. I will just ask you a question quickly before time that we got this. Can you just share, because we discussed yesterday the same thing, but can you share a story about someone that's monitoring the dark web with some trait intelligence or something like that, and it allowed this company to react before a major incident, which is that they use the dark web as a lie, not as only other universe that we are fair, we just put it, or at least if we are fair about it, we don't touch it.
Sorry, say that again.
The question is, here we see a demonstration about using the dark web, but you don't put it in the place of having fear about it, because yeah, it will be perhaps too simple for one to have it. Is, have you any experience or story to tell us about any company that's using the dark web as collecting some information with some monitoring, and based on that, we can have a very quick response before even that the incident or the major incident is coming?
Yes, there are companies have been proactively preventing their compromises and attacks. the chat protocol basically that is used to for attackers to communicate with each other is called IRC, and that's what they use. So there have been companies basically deploy their operatives on these IRC channels to monitor, what is being talked about regarding their specific organization. And there has been cases where major attacks have been prevented, using by monitoring this chatter. And we can, forward with the demonstration now. Let's first look at the very, embarrassing incident of the Colonial Pipeline. So there's a pipeline that runs from the Midwest in the US to Canada directly, and that pipeline connects 24 states within both countries. That pipeline was basically ransomware by VPN, VPN credential that was actually leaked and the VPN credential that was leaked was basically it was as simple as colonial 123. And if you actually go on Dhashed or even on Defendis platform and you look up colonialpipeline.com, the fetched credentials that you will get will actually have that password and that user ID of that particular VPN address.
The problem you're talking about is I think you think it's not something that is major, but it's in all companies you find them using a password. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or admin, or
either the loop or we have loop as password.
Yeah, exactly. For sometimes for VPN access, or you find even if it's sometimes a complicated password, you find password reuse. Sometimes you find a company that is investing so much money in its policies, etc., but a simple passport policy is super weak that exposes VPN, for example. So you find a user that has, for example, 100 leaked passwords. One of them is something unrelated to the VPN, so you take that password and you try it on the VPN access, and it works. So like the conversation yesterday, we were discussing what should we use for the demo, and Coupe d'Afrique is close. So we're like, okay, where's everyone watches what happens in Africa? So beIN, that's the TV channel. So it's like, okay, let's go to beIN, let's find an account, and let's enter and watch football for free. So this is what we're gonna do. So just go here to leaks, find if there are any passwords. We'll find like this guy, and yeah, we'll just like go here to the sign in of the guy. And you have free beIN, free soccer games during the Africa Cup of Nations. If they let us see it. I think someone hacked us and blocked the screen. They don't want us to see this. They don't want us to watch free football.
So the catastrophic effect of the Colonial Pipeline attack was equivalent to what happened. So what happened was the Dutch used to bring oil from India to the European states, and the equivalent effect was somewhere around $50 billion in 3 days. The oil prices raised and soared more than 15%. It was, experts call it, basically 100,000 oil tankers being sunk into the sea. So, and this was just because of one leaked password. That's it. And it was leaked online. It was a VPN credential that someone got access to. It was just like his tool, Defendis. And this is how they exploited. It's okay.
They didn't want us to.
Don't worry.
It blocked. It's not me.
You did your best. Let's move forward.
Yeah, but the idea is that it's not so complicated to have this breaches, password databases, whatever. But my question will be, if a company try to do some just discussed before, data classification and having what can be public, what can be internals, secret, what not secret, etc. And enforce just part, because a lot of discussion that we have already do with a lot of CISO on my day-to-day job is they don't want to put all the money on securing data because this will expense a lot. They want just to have it just a part of what is really confidential data. It's something interesting to do that because by the end of the day, I don't know if, for example, when we monitor the dark web, if we do the monitoring in the dark web and we see that we have a database with leaked password, or leaked password is still confidential, but leaked data, not especially in the password, leaked data. If the data is just public and internal, is the same gravity, same criticality of having some more secret confidential data?
All access is critical access, and going back to your point of CISOs not wanting to spend money on securing their data, sometimes they say, we're just going to spend this amount, and if we're monitoring the dark web, that's it, we're safe. No, you're just monitoring, you're not stopping the attacks. The monitoring is just layer one. Then what are you doing behind that layer one? Examples that we've seen real life is, I'll give you a real example. A customer, they have the platform, they detected that the user has a leaked password, it's a bank. And we were talking with them, it was like, hey, what did you do with that password? It was like, yeah, we called the department that is in charge of the password. They said the user has OTP. And so, yeah, you didn't reset the password? No. What did you do? Well, the user has OTP. So you see where I'm going with this. Like, you can spend whatever amount of money you can spend on security. If you don't have the processes behind to actually secure or follow up on the data you find on the dark web, you're putting money on
to add to him, the fact that you are required to monitor, dark web, deep web, whatever web on the internet, is basically directly related to post-breach scenarios. It means that if there is a need in your organization that you need to monitor public forums, public chat boxes, and public channels to verify if your organization has been breached or not, directly proves that your organization has already been breached, which means that there is a severe lack of intrinsic user awareness training and trivial factors involving social engineering attacks, vulnerabilities, leaked platform leaks and whatnot. So if a bank is, so that's what I'm thinking. Threat intelligence is a post-breach scenario, not a pre-breach scenario. And it can only be countered by one single aspect, which is horizontal scaling of your organization and trickling down that user awareness and self-awareness knowledge. That is what is going to prevent attackers from breaching your organization in the first place.
If we want to be prevent, as we mentioned that dark web is just the end up, not the start, we need to protect the start, in the beginning, that's right.
Yeah, start with access management. That's layer one. If you have a problem with IAM, if you have a problem with people sharing their password willingly, you failed. Start there. After that, jump to the awareness layer. If you have data, as Shamil perfectly said, if you have data on the dark web, is that people are making mistakes for their data to end on the dark web. And for that, there are three layers. There are the employees, the customers, and the partners. Start with your employees. Then you can move to the others, because customers are much difficult to control, but start with your employees. If you have a lot of your employees, their data is leaked on the dark web, something you're doing is wrong. Whatever investment you have spent on cybersecurity is not well spent. Then you have the patch management part, where vulnerabilities, manage that.
And it's only focused on our company data in the dark web, or it's extend to the vendor? Because sometimes we need to monitor not only our environment in the dark web, we need to monitor also our third parties.
Yeah.
And having strategy on the vendor management is a part of this?
I'll give you a real example of a call center. So let's say you're a multi-million-dollar company and you have a call center that either does customer support or something deeper. So the customer center, the call center or the customer center, they have some kind of access to access your customers' data and be able to manage your customers and take care of the tickets. If that call center is hacked or is a victim of an attack or something, indirectly you're impacted as well. I don't know if you received an email from OpenAI lately about one of their partners that was an attack.
Mixed panel, yeah.
Yeah, mixed panel, exactly. So like a vendor does a mistake, indirectly exposes you, even if you have millions. I doubt like OpenAI doesn't spend on cybersecurity. They spend so much money on cybersecurity, but indirectly you end up in these situations with a vendor by a lack of chance or whatever. There's no chance.
There's a very lesser known incident. AT&T, they use pairing software by a third-party company which pairs agents, to call with callers and stuff like that. And effectively right now, 500 petabytes of data of conversations between agents and users, their behavioral patterns, who bought what, at what price, is effectively leaked. It was leaked, earlier this year, and about 50 million North American users have been affected by it. That was a result of one of the IT administrators clicking a link. What's that attack called where you bombard a user with notifications and they eventually click on it? I don't remember the terminology, if someone can remind me. So what happened was they literally, and the funniest part is they literally replicated the same attack vector that was used against Uber. They bombarded the IT administrator with notifications to log in multiple times, and after the 15th time, he eventually clicked yes. They got internal access, which had VPN credentials, which had database credentials, and they exfiltrated 500 petabytes of data using DigitalOcean servers. And right now, I mean, the catastrophic effects of this is that attackers now know what are you going to buy, when are you going to buy it. They can, they can make hundreds of millions of dollars based on that data by selling it to third-party companies. It was not even the dark web. It's just someone getting frustrated from their job. If you remember the terminology, please remind me. I
forgot about it. But like what you said brought me to something else. Like a lot of people say, okay, if our data reached the dark web, is it done? Is it over? Or is there something else we can do? And what you just said is maybe your data the access reached the dark web. Someone is using it to exfiltrate data, but to not raise any alerts in your CM or to not have any alerts, they're extracting the huge amount of data in short bursts. So they have the access, they keep it for many months while they're exfiltrating the data. So you being able to detect that access is leaked on the dark web and resetting it as quickly as possible. Yeah, some data leaked, but not all the data. You still have time to react. And this is something we always try to tell people. Your data being on the dark web doesn't mean that's it, it's over, game over. You can always find it quickly and react quickly instead of being passive and waiting for you to be the last one to know.
It's a very great idea because when we monitor dark web is actor of acceleration. We can quickly recover, quickly reset password before even that this database is sold. Because by then, if someone is storing anything, he will try to... Yeah.
5 petabytes of data, you don't extract it in one day. So it's been extracted over a long period of time and didn't raise any alerts. So someone had that access for a very extended period of time. So your ability to detect the access quickly and reset it or cut it can help you out.
You're talking about the dark web. You must have heard about this thing about the World Host Group in Indonesia that was hosting hundreds of gigabytes of file, that's not the dark web. It's the surface web. Someone was basically using an open hosting page to host data of not hundreds of millions, but billions of users.
The same kind of OCI in Oracle last
Yes.
time, that it was just simple text plate to a file with a lot of information like credentials. It will be my last question. After that, I will perhaps give in 5 minutes to the audience if you have any question. Here is more the soft skills, not the hard skill. I know that you are expert, I will not challenge that. The question is, when you found in the dark web some information, and you want to communicate it to whatever executive levels, it can be the CISO, it can be any executive levels, how you do it? Because the point here is, if you say it like that, what we just discussed here, it will be panic. And perhaps even that I already see it in my life when I was doing a little bit this part, is that the CISO itself is fired.
It's panic and prison calling to know which room do you want? Do you want it by the window or do you want it inside?
Exactly, this is the point. And especially because it's paralyzed by fear. They are fear that is something already happened. As you mentioned, threat intelligence is happened already. It's not something that you will defend on. How you communicate this information? What is the best way to explain it to the customer?
Yes. Okay. So reporting a post-breach scenario is a non-billable offense in European, Asian, and North American law. So any responsible disclosure policy that is based on NIST standards does not cover reporting leak credentials. So you're effectively, just like you said, which room do you want? You're effectively putting yourself up for a bait for failure. But now, after GDPR, there has been a committee that is actually deciding how to protect ethical hackers and responsible disclosures in order to prevent them from getting under the heat of lawsuits. But no law in any cybercrime policy actually protects individuals that report post-breach scenarios, because there is no authenticity of that trivial factor that, there's no authenticity of whether you did it or someone else did it. You're coming to that person telling them that someone has access to your data. I don't know who it is, but you trust my word that it is not me. So, but the EU standards have started working on it a lot. There are a lot of contribution papers online. The UNAI policy is also catering to it, something that I've been reviewing and studying very closely. So, the answer to your question is, don't report it.
Or we can negotiate NDA before it?
No.
Whatever?
Come on, that's not how the NDA is a non-disclosure agreement that you will not disclose information. You are already reporting a disclosed information. The NDA does not cover it. So there is no possible way to disclose it. Yes, if you have good relations with them, they may not sue you, but don't go reporting it to people you don't know.
Yeah, that's the main point. Don't go reporting it to people you don't know. Like what we do is we try to soften it a bit. Say like, there's an audit. Do you want to see there's some data about you on the dark web? Then just give them a way to just look in. It's like, yeah, I want to know more. And just like try to build it up instead of like, there's 10,000 passwords about you and your database is leaked and all your data is leaked. And they get defensive.
Because at the same time, that is already there in the dark web. In the same time, if we go with this scenario that we will say audit, we will go through a process with all staff, it will be perhaps take months. And in this time, someone already solved or buy the database and they already perhaps inside of the network.
He said that law needs to catch up because law is not on our side, it's on their side, because you find something at the same time as the hackers do, but you cannot report it. So
but it's not their fault, right? Like, it's not the company's fault. Look at it from their perspective.
Yeah.
How many times, how many times out of 10 do people actually come to organizations not to extort them of money? Like, it it is the problem of our community or the community of ethical hackers that has been defamed in a way because of the things that we have done. If I report something to you, I expect you to pay me, but you're not someone who asked me to report it to you, right? So it works both ways. I don't blame the organizations. I blame more of how the cybersecurity community has turned into an extortion mechanism, for these kinds of organizations, and it's not a very good image. This is something that should be fixed and that should be brought into forums. I was speaking to Pavlina. She is sort of the quote-unquote de facto ambassador on AI policy, and this is something that as important as it is to train organizations, it is also important to train cybersecurity experts and ethical hackers in their behavioral problems that they, in order to, what to report, how to report, what to check before reporting, what not to check before reporting. It works both ways. You cannot expect organizations to just, roll out a red carpet. That you're breaking into the person's house, for God's sake.
Yeah, as you said, there needs to be a framework for these kinds of reporting, because you cannot just. We've seen reports with clear text passwords. Someone reporting passwords by email in clear text with like, "Thank you, but no," like, "Yeah, but no."
And what advice you can give? We have a lot of new generation. I know that some of them that I meet personally is in this way of learning of cybersecurity, etc. What you can advise them to don't be in this trap, because it's really important to know that if you found something, don't report it directly, because there are no protection on it. And yeah, as ethical hackers with a lot of expertise, we know the rules of the game. But new people that just jump in this, what advice you can give them?
It's exciting when you find something, but it's not really exciting when you report it and you don't get the reaction that you want, because there are ways where you should respect when reporting something. Yeah, finding something, you just found it, it's exciting, wow, you found something amazing, but you may not get the reaction you were expecting, because the way you report it matters more than the finding itself.
I will give 5 minutes to the audience if you have any questions to our privileged.
Thank you for giving me the speech to talk to you. My name is Amine. I research in things related to cybersecurity and OSINT, more importantly. I have just a question, because you were talking about corporate and behaviors of employees and us as students and researchers, how we should not directly report any vulnerabilities we find. But the thing is, here in Morocco, unlike other countries, there are no bug bounty programs or something offered by Moroccan companies, so we can go and actually do our job, because as you can see, there are a lot of talents and people who can actually give something to this field. So the thing is, you find just small communities and people keep talking secretly between each other on things they find, but we don't see any future in this, so we just keep it to ourselves. That's the thing. There are no available bounty programs here in Morocco. We see the evolution in doing these conferences and talking about these subjects, but we don't offer things to students. We just offer hackathons. We don't do the actual thing. So yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
That sounded more like a rant than a question.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't get the question, but I got the rant, but I didn't get the question.
No, but it's a good point. You raise a very good point that as students, listen, no national infrastructure has 10 years worth of cybersecurity policy baked into their national policy at the end of the day. So And if it doesn't, then the internet is a connectivity platform that turns the world into a global village. And now we have international bug bounty platforms that offer specific, sophisticated, tailored environments for training in responsible disclosure. And you can learn from it, you can practice on it, you can exercise your skill sets on these companies, and then once you're at that level that where you want to be, you can join that community and start your monetary benefits from it. So the only country in the world that has a solid specific cybersecurity policy does not exist. No country has that. No country has responsible disclosure baked into their national policy. So start from where it exists. Like go look at European bug bounty programs. Go look at the American bug bounty programs. Go look at responsible disclosure guidelines from NIST. Start from there, and then try to introduce it where you live. Try to hold community meetups. Try to educate the people in organizations, connect with them, talk to them, inspire them, educate them, and essentially then you will be positioned as a pioneer of that particular field in that specific country.
And something more related to what he was saying that I was discussing with Faisal, and more here from Morocco. You might be talking to multinationals, nobody's responding to you, or you don't get any response, or you don't have someone to talk to present your findings. Maybe startups, if you want to gain real life experience, startups are more willing to listen. So you can reach out to startups and work with them to identify the thousands of vulnerabilities they have. Like I'm sure all the startups, they have vulnerabilities based on their scale, etc. So you can start with startup, work with startup, reach out to them. I'm sure you're going to get more responses than reaching out to multinationals. Try to join in as a learning experience, or try to, whatever you were trying to do with the multinational, do it with the startups, and try to get yourself some real life experience and stuff, just as you said, the hackathons, etc. I think just my personal advice that can give you more personal or more real life experience than just reaching out to multinational waiting for them to respond to you.
In the top of that is, you have two things here. You have the bug bounty program and you have the bug bounty platforms. There are a lot of bug bounty platforms, HackerOne, Yes We Hack, a lot of things. Inside of it, we have multiple companies. Not only American one, you have worldwide companies. I'm not sure that I have never checked if there are any Moroccan company already registered with HackerOne, but you have some regional one. It depends on what is your goal. Because if your goal is to practice HackerOne, Yes We Hack, whatever bug bounty platform, inside of it you have multiple companies and you have a process to go there. You can train on it. If you want more to have physical contact with people, what Amine just mentioned is a good idea, which is going to the startup, because startup doesn't have enough money, but at the same time, they cannot buy with huge amount of money any expertise on the bug bounty or the pen testing, and you can do it for free or with some small money, and it's a win-win scenario. You will, in the same time, found some vulnerability for some SaaS solution for this startup. In the same time, they will not pay money, but you are expertise. There are some way of doing it. But yeah, having a platform as the international platform, HackerOne, Yes We Hack, or other platform, we don't have it in this region. We can try to think of, surely, but the platform is not the meaning. The platform is just the platform. Behind the platform is to negotiate with companies that you can, that they give you them QA environment to be tested, etc. It's not only the platform, it's not only the bug bounty, it's whole ecosystem.
I think the response will be for the law or for the framework to catch up to allow Moroccans to have a bug bounty program, which is what all we want. Yeah. What we all want.
Any other question? I will take just two additional questions, just from time factor. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Faisal. Thank you, Mr. Faisal, for giving me this opportunity to ask my question. Thank you, Mr. Bajeddi and Mr. Amir, for sharing your expertise with us. I really appreciate your point, Mr. Amir, about dark web and as a reflection of hidden vulnerabilities. And I have a question regarding cloud computing, as a passionate about cloud. So, as more sensitive data is stored and managed in the cloud, how can organizations ensure both strong security and trust while actively monitoring for potential exposure on the dark web? I have a second question, which is what advanced strategies would you recommend to anticipate this before getting exploded? Thank you.
That's a very good question. Okay. The first question, the answer to the first question is there are 5 stages which are information gathering, recon, gaining access, maintaining access, and covering tracks. These are the 5 stages of exploiting any system. 70% is information gathering and recon. The cloud itself is was based on an open and public architecture. The first ever cloud software which was developed was called Open Nebula. Open Nebula came from open architecture, and the nebula was, the galaxy that we have. So if you can prevent your information gathering, and if you can map your attack surface in the cloud itself, most of your problems that relate or pertain to exploiting the cloud they are prevented on that first layer. Now, the second question is, the answer to the second question is, if you have an architecture in place that is not horizontal, and you have security as the backbone and your core, while maintaining proper functionality, speed, and agility in your workflows, you are 90% less likely to get attacked rather than any other organization. And that comes from the need and the hunger to aware your users. The fact that there has been less than 10 breaches in AWS or Amazon Web Services over the past decade is because they have a layered, firewalled, highly infragile, and rock-solid foundation built into their security. You cannot even get a razor blade inside of the Amazon data center physically. That is because the policies are so strong and so solid that there is no way that an attacker can actually get in. You actually need to have 3 security clearances from 3 different people who are unknown to you, and they basically, derive these policies from Coca-Cola. The recipe of Coca-Cola, 3 people only in the world actually know it, and they, base their entire security policy on that. So the simplest and the most effective way to secure the cloud is to map your attack surface, fix the vulnerabilities that are known, and prepare for the vulnerabilities that are unknown, have segregated access, and have a failover and more than one single points of failure in the cloud. I hope that answers your question.
Just a matter of timeline. I need to close the session. Thank you so much, Shahmeer. Thank you so much, Amine. It was a pleasure to have you here.